This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic.
Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. I am so grateful for you and I love our time together. And I have to tell you this before we get into the topic for today. I was sitting outside this morning. I let the rambunctious kitten out, little Milo, so he can just run through the yard like a maniac. And I'm sitting down and I'm reading a little bit. You know, I like to sit out there and journal. I like to do breath work. I like to do all these things outside in the sun, right in the morning when it's quiet. Oh my gosh, the things that bring me joy. And a bee literally dive bombs my face. It just crashes into my face for no reason at all. If you all had have been out there to watch me, because I had my hair, okay, you know this heatless curl thing that we're doing? Okay, maybe you're not doing it, but I've been doing it for a while. And so I had my hair like Princess Leia buns and, you know, I'm doing my heatless curls and the thing dive bombs my face. I freak out. I'm like brushing my face and I knock down my Princess Leia buns. And I wish this was the first time it happened. No, it has happened for 3 days in a row. I don't know what's going on, to the point where I looked up the reason why bees are coming onto your path. Is supposed to be a great omen because bees are workers and all this other stuff. But yesterday, same scenario. I have in my Princess Leia buns. I go sit outside. I'm really enjoying. I have some time off, and I'm sitting there minding my own business, and a bee just randomly starts buzzing around my head. I'm like, am I reliving my childhood? And I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm like, you know, trying to like scatter it off or whatever, shoo it off. It lands on my arm and I'm like, nope, buddy, can't land on I don't want to kill the bees. We need the bees. So I'm brushing it off my arm and I'm like, okay, I just need to go inside. What's going on? 3 days in a row, this has happened to me. And I'm telling you, I'm minding my own business. I'm not wearing perfume. I don't have any perfume on. I simply have oil and lotion on because I'm like freshly showered and I have on my Princess Leia buns and it knocks my daggone buns off and I'm over it. So anyone that's sending the bees, let them know I got the message. I got it. We don't need to be doing that. Please don't. Please stop. So that is what I want. I think to myself, there's probably a neighbor and they're upstairs like, okay, I'm probably on YouTube. I'm probably on YouTube because I freak out. I freak out. I mean, you know, and it's not getting stuck in my hair. These are mild bees. They're not like the ones from childhood that would literally just haunt us and chase us. So anyway, if it's you that's sending me those bees, please stop, please, and thank you. I love you. And let's go into the topic for today. This is a ginormous topic, and I want to let you know I just started creating new downloads on my website. You can visit my website to look at the downloads. I created 2 for helping you find direction, find your inner compass. I also created one for health, and these are meditations with healing, or you can just get the healing. And I also created one to help you with all of these shifts going on. And I'm going to be creating more. So if you're on my newsletter, you would have got the email last week. And if you are a Patreon member, you always know ahead of time. Also, if you are part of the upper tiers, the Inner Circle or the Inner Circle Plus, you get these downloads as part of your membership. So the Inner Circle Plus gets everything that I post here on YouTube and also the downloads, everything that I'm posting. And the Inner Circle, which is the $5 tier, gets at least one of the healings that I am posting on my website. So I wanted to offer that to you here because I know that this is something that it keeps coming up in my private sessions. It comes up with my friends that people are just feeling lost. They're feeling uncertain. They're stuck. They don't know what direction to take. They don't know if they're on the right path. What do they want to do? What do they like to do? It's this disconnection that I really noticed happen since COVID. And I think COVID was such a shakeup. And it was such an eye-opener for the character, seeing the character of people, seeing the way people crumbled whenever we thought that they weren't going to. And it was this really massive shift on the planet. And there's a lot of grief that people are still processing and they're trying to learn or figure out, how do I live now? Because we can't go back. We got to go forward. Life has changed. And so what I wanted to share with you today, and again, I'm not really sure how in depth to go on this platform, but I want to try to cover the main things that keep coming up over and over. Number one, are you burnt out? That's another one I'm going to be putting on my website in the future is burnout. Are you burnt out? Do you need a little bit of rest? Because sometimes when you just need a little bit of rest, you start to feel blocked. Are you doing your spiritual practices? I mean, that's another thing to keep yourself clean, to keep yourself clear. And most of us on this path and that are on this podcast right now are empathic. We feel and absorb the emotions and energy, even sometimes the physical sensations of people around us. And it's different than sympathy because sympathy is just understanding someone's feeling. And empathy is truly experiencing the feeling like it was your own. And so because of this, it can get really confusing. So you can start feeling like, okay, is this mine or someone else's? Or is this what I want to do? Or is this what I'm expected to do? So it becomes this exhausting mental play that can sometimes go on. And I understand with all of this chaos in the world, it can make us feel like we're overwhelmed because we're compassionate, we're caring. And, I'm sensitive to noise, I'm sensitive to smells, and I get it. I'm right in the same boat with you. I love solitude. Oh my goodness, I crave alone time. This is how I recharge. This is how I clear my energy. So I get it. I want to say it's normal and you're not the only person feeling like this right now. But we got to keep moving forward. So how do we move forward? How do we figure out what is next? First of all, sometimes when people book private sessions, they're asking me what their life purpose is. Our life purpose isn't just one thing. We didn't come here just for one single thing. I don't know if I actually know, I know I haven't shared this with you all, but years ago when my father passed, I started getting exposed to the work of Dolores Cannon, and it was awe. It was just showing up on my feed. I'd never explored Dolores Cannon, don't know anything about Dolores Cannon. I've been trained in hypnotherapy. I took a whole course on it. So I started being really interested in what she was saying. And she was essentially a hypnotherapist. She's not in the body anymore, but she would be doing hypnotherapy for clients. And then she would notice they would go into these past lives. And she started putting together these common themes. And it was just really fascinating. And at the time, and this is the reason I'm bringing this up, is because your purpose can sometimes get shaken when you have a massive, like a massive change or a massive loss. So when my father passed away, I realized for so many years I was carrying this, I don't know, this caution about cars because both of my brothers had passed away in car accidents. So I had this caution. It was every single time I got in the car, and it wasn't even really conscious. Be careful, Susan. Make sure that you drive because you don't want to cause any pain to your father or your mother. My mother's in the body, but with dementia. She's not even here. Her body might be here. Her mind's not here. Her spirit. I, I just basically keep my interaction on the inner world with her. In any case, so when he passed, I was like, oh, I'd get in my car and then I'd go, huh, I don't have to be careful in the car anymore. Of course, I'm still careful, but I realized that I had all of these expectations and all of these ways that I was maneuvering just based on not wanting to cause any harm to my dad, wanting to make my dad proud. And again, it wasn't conscious. And when he passed, it was like, oh my gosh, who do I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm in my 40s, right? And I have a daughter who's depending on me, but it was this processing of grief and then learning what now. I had made all these plans, you all. When my daughter graduates high school, I'm going to do this with my dad. I wanted to buy a house with a guest bedroom because I wanted to do this with my dad. And I had all of these plans, mental plans that I never got to do with my dad. And so as he passed away when my daughter was a senior in high school. So I had all these plans that I'd made with him and then he's not here anymore. And now it's like, oh, well, now what do I do with my life? So I wanted to also bring that up because you're not alone in that. I get it. But how have these experiences shaped you? So with that said, I decided to go do a private session with someone who was trained by Dolores Cannon, and she was a quantum hypnosis level, whatever the highest level is. So I drove out of town to see her. And I just kind of made it this healing weekend. I got a hotel. I went by myself. I stayed by the river. It was very beautiful. It was very nice. And she would basically let you ask you, she would put you in a hypnotic state and then give you questions that you could ask yourself. And I did go into past lives. It was very interesting, very interesting. I went into past lives, and I've done this before, past life regression. And to me, your life that you need to really focus on is this life. So I don't sometimes past life stuff comes up in private sessions, but I don't do my work in past life because how is that helping me today? I mean, it's fun. It's nice information, but what does it mean today? So anyway, I thought it was bizarre that I was going into past life. And because I do channeling work, I was awake. I was channeling, but I was awake because I know how to channel. So she's like, oh yeah, most people kind of fall out and don't remember what they said, but I was very awake the entire time. So anyway, I'm only telling you this to tell you that I asked myself, why am I here? Because this comes up in sessions so many times. And you know what I said? And mind you, I got to back up. I have not read any of Dolores Cannon's books, none of them. Never read her work. I only heard a couple of things that she said. I literally booked the session and went. So I didn't do a lot of digging into what she had said or her teachings. So I told myself, your purpose is to just be. And that's what I told myself, to just be. Now, you and I want specific steps, right? To just be, what kind of hokey pokey mess is that? That's not an answer. Anyway, so after the session, I sat with her, and I think she's also a psychologist who I had spoke to. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I sat with her, and so she basically was going over what I had told her, and I remembered everything. So that was a short session to go over it. And she goes, in all my years of doing this, and even in all of Dolores's work, that's always the answer. It never changes, to just be. So the reason I bring this up is sometimes we can get so just hyper fixated on, I need this big purpose. What if your purpose in this lifetime was to come here and explore and learn what you're naturally good at and use these skills to help humanity? Everyone can't have this ginormous, in the limelight, culturally appreciated field. Now, every single job is important. Like we don't see all of the ways that insects, no matter if we like them or not, are helping the ecosystem. Every job is important, but sometimes we get so caught up in looking and comparing and following into these cultural expectations when just coming here and being the person that you are is valuable and important. Now, and you don't want to hear this because it's fluff and I get it, but I need to break this down. So your purpose is not always one thing. It's not a single fixed destination. It can evolve and change over time. There could be a season of your life where your purpose is to raise children. When your children are adults, like mine, she's almost 21. Now my purpose is growing and evolving into something new. So don't put that type of pressure. Your ultimate purpose is about living in alignment with your values, passions, and your strengths. Now, what are those? We're going to get to that. So stick with me. You don't have to figure it all out now. Breathe, be in the present moment, enjoy, be kind, relax. Also, your purpose doesn't always have to be your job or career. Your job or career helps you to survive in this life. It helps you to put food on the table. It's an expression of your purpose at times, but it's not the only way that you can live out your purpose. Your purpose is about how you choose to live your life and impact that you want to have both personally and professionally. That's why I actually really like my full-time job. I enjoy the work that I do. I feel like it's really important. I love the people I work with. I love my team. I love what we stand for. And it keeps me balanced in a practical, worldly footing. Which is really important because that makes me relatable. It makes me have the opportunity to impact people I would normally impact. And then I do this work. And to me, it's all connected. So your purpose always shouldn't feel easy either. That's the other just myth in law of attraction. And I find this a lot in spiritual communities, especially ones that are partaking in plant medicine, which I'm not going to go into, but it's, oh, if it feels good. And the second there's any type of challenge, they abort ship. Oh no, man, only if it feels good. And living in alignment with your purpose can be challenging. It will require courage. It will require persistence and growth because that's how we do grow. So it's not always going to be easy. And that's okay. That is okay. We grow when times are challenging. It will be meaningful and fulfilling though, because I know for me, anytime I've come through something challenging, that's when it really sticks for me. And I feel so proud of myself. And I look at how far I've come and I think, geez, I'm pretty strong. I've been able to get through some things. So here's the thing that I wanted to talk about here. And this is one of the things that the meditation and the healing covers over on my website is listening to your inner voice. How do we do this? You've got to set aside some daily quiet time. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes. Sit quietly with yourself. Listen to your inner thoughts. Do a meditation. Allow your thoughts or feelings to arise without judgment. Pay attention to any reoccurring themes that you have, feelings that might come up. You can also journal. Journal will prompt something like, what makes me feel most alive? You've got to really dive in and rediscover who you are. Get to know yourself. And then pay attention to how you feel when certain thoughts or feelings come up. This is so important. It's body awareness. It's thinking about a potential path or a decision and notice if you feel light and expansive, which is a sign that we're aligned, or do you feel heavy and tense, which is a sign of misalignment. Your body is a powerful tool for accessing your inner wisdom. This is why your girl loves breath work. I was going to bring it up, which you can find more about breath work in my show notes. Also connecting with nature, ground yourself, put your feet on the ground or sit down by a pine tree or in the grass. Nature has a very calming effect. You can just do a walk too. Helps you tune in with your inner guidance. You can sit by a river or a water feature, spend time in your garden, and then pay attention to any thoughts or feelings or insights that may arise. Also, visualizations are really, really powerful. Picture yourself in your ideal day, doing what brings you joy, surrounded by people who inspire you, support you. This is also something that we do in one of the meditations that I've posted. I'm not trying to plug my meditations. I'm just telling you these are tools there to support you if you feel lost in this area. So when you're practicing these techniques, you begin to develop a stronger connection with your inner voice and your intuition, which is super important. Now, the other thing that we get is, I don't know what I'm passionate about. This comes up a lot. Oh my goodness, guys, there's a dragonfly on my office window. So that might be a sign for one of you. Okay. So I get this a lot. I don't know what I'm passionate about. I get it. I've been there. So your passions are activities, interests, and experiences that bring you joy and fulfillment. These things light you up. They make you feel alive. They give you energy. Passions are often linked to hobbies, creative pursuits, something you deeply care about, like causes that you care about. But your purpose is a deeper guiding principle that gives your life meaning. It's the reason you get up in the morning. It's a driving force behind your actions and your decisions. So your purpose often goes beyond your personal interests, and it's tied to a greater sense of contribution or impact, which is one of my purposes is what I'm doing right here and now. So your passions can shift and change over time, but your purpose tends to be more enduring. It connects you to your core values and your beliefs. So both your passions and your purposes matter. Okay. But in your spiritual journey, they work together to create a fulfilling and meaningful life. So your passions will bring you joy and fill your spirit, and your purpose gives you direction and your sense of mission. So by aligning your passions with your purpose, you find a harmonious balance that supports both your personal happiness and your greater calling, right? So here we go. It's self-exploration. How do you identify your passions? Well, here's something that I talk about a lot, and sometimes people get frustrated because they have a lot of childhood trauma, but I'm going to give these to you because they do work. If you think back to your childhood, think about activities that made you happiest. What did you love to do when you were free to explore and play? I used to love to swing. I love to be outside. I love to I'm literally just be outside, running, playing, connecting. That was one of my most favorite things to do. I also loved to teach. I used to play teacher all the time. I would play school, and make believe and all those types of things. So I'm just giving you that as an example to have you thinking, okay, what did I like to do when I was a child? I've always loved water too. Oh my goodness. Water features, being by the water, getting in water, swimming, all those types of things. And so also make a list of moments in your life when you felt most alive, engaged, and fulfilled. So what were you doing at those times? This is a process of self-discovery. What about those experiences brought you joy? Analyzing these peak moments can help you identify the activities and the experiences that bring you the most satisfaction. Also, notice what energizes you. Pay attention to the activities that energize you rather than drain you. What do you look forward to doing? Oh my goodness, I look forward to beaches, water vacations, solitude, reading, working out, creating content, and creating things that help other people. That makes me soar. I absolutely love it. I also love coffee, delicious food. I'm very, very simple. So, in any case, what makes you lose track of time? These are things that you are most passionate about. I love to learn too. Like, I'll spend my weekend in a self help seminar. I'll spend my weekend learning how to make the most out of life. That's my passion. My passion is learning, growing, evolving, being beneficial to people. That has always been my passion. Also, ask yourself key questions. What would I do if money were no object? It's a really good question, isn't it? What would I do if money were no object? What do I love talking about or learning about? What are these topics that feed you, energize you? These questions can also help you uncover hidden passions and interests. All right. The next thing is trying new activities, exploring different interests. Sometimes discovering your passions just requires you to step out of your comfort zone. And I know sometimes as sensitive, empathic people that can be challenging, but being open minded and being willing to try new things can really open you up to a whole new world of possibilities. And it can help you gain clarity on what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. And it can help you to connect with your passions and align them with your life's purpose. The other thing is finding out what you love. Oh my goodness, how do you find what you truly love, what brings you joy, what you're good at? Again, it requires deep introspection. It really does. So you got to create a space for self discovery. Set aside this time to really go within and reflect. When was the last time I felt deeply joyful or alive? And what was I doing? This is a good question. What activities make me lose track of time? What recurring dreams or desires do I have that I haven't pursued? It's never too late. It's never too late. And the other thing that came to me one day in meditation was the things that I do in this lifetime. Yes, the body is going to perish, but my soul is absolutely endless and ageless, and it may reincarnate again. It probably will because I'm not there yet. I'm on this path, but I got a long way to go. So those talents will come back with me in my next incarnation or wherever I am going after this. So it's never too late. Also, again, reflect on your childhood. What did you love doing for hours on end? What games, activities, or hobbies brought you joy without effort? Have you forgotten or suppressed any of these childhood interests as you got older? It's a good thing to go back and revisit. And then the final thing is, how can I reconnect with these today? I know this is a lot of information, but I really want you to think about this because it can be really, really helpful. It's helped me a ton. So the next thing is identify your peak experiences of joy. Recall moments of your life where you felt deep joy and satisfaction. Because these peak moments, these are clues to what truly lights you up. These are clues to what aligns with your soul. So you can write down a few instances where you felt fully alive, fulfilled, and just think about it. What was happening? What role were you playing? Who were you with? What was the environment you were in? What skills or talents were you using during that moment? You can also make a list of your favorite activities and passions. If you know them, just start writing them, see where it takes you. If you had all the time in the world and no obligations, what would you spend your days doing? What subjects or activities do you naturally gravitate toward in your free time? Your girl is reading. I am reading. Oh my goodness. I got a veggie chopper and it makes my vegetables look so beautiful and it makes them so easy to consume. And I don't know, there's something so gratifying about having all this whole delicious food and chopping up my veggies. I'm very simple. And these things, seeing them all perfectly cubed and how they all fit together. Oh my goodness. Especially like the cucumbers, the bell peppers, the celery, and they're all perfect. Oh my, and I've been doing it with my potatoes too. And then just pan frying the potatoes. Things like this bring me immense joy. And I really focus on it and take in that simplicity, and the joy and the way that I'm nurturing myself. So, what subjects or activities do you naturally gravitate toward in your free time? What do you get excited to learn more about or explore deeper? Those are things to think about, pay attention, journal on it. And then, once again, we're evaluating what energizes us. When I do certain activities, and this is good for dating too, by the way. You go on a date with someone, even friendships, you spend time with someone, you leave. This is something that I love to do. Do I feel more alive, uplifted, or enthusiastic after doing this? Be honest with yourself. Only you know these answers. Be honest. Well, if we're in a private session, I probably know too, but that's beside the point. Okay. Was I in the zone or in flow while I was doing this activity? It's a good question. Would I want to do this again, even if I wasn't paid or recognized? Or would you just want to do it again? It's really good exploration questions. And then you can also ask people that you trust. Ask people that you trust for feedback on what they observe brings you joy, what you seem naturally good at. So ask them things like, this is close friends, people that you trust. Let's not ask people that are, vampires in your life, people that you trust, that you're close to. When have you seen me at my highest or most passionate? What activities or roles do you think I naturally excel at? What do you think I love? Even if I haven't realized it yet. Sometimes the outsider view is so powerful and helpful. Also, you've got to experiment and explore. Try new activities or revisit old hobbies that you may have lost touch with. True joy and passion often emerge through exploration. That's why it's so important to try things. Choose 2 or 3 things to explore. And these could be things you've always wanted to try or things you maybe once loved and you haven't done years. Just engage in it again. Just do it for regularly for like a few weeks and just see how you feel. And then once again, ask yourself, did this activity bring me joy or excitement? And by the way, this dragonfly is still here for those of you who need a message. I don't know, Dad, is that you? Oh, goodness. Okay, let's get back at it. Could I see myself doing this long term? Did this feel like a natural expression of who I am? Okay. And now we got to go and look at your core values and your purpose because we want to align your activities and your passions with your core values and your purpose. So, what do I stand for and what values guide my life? Not what other people want from you or expect you to do, but what do you stand for? What values guide your life? How do your passions and strengths contribute to something bigger than yourself? One of the things that I personally do is what I'm doing right now with you. This is deeply fulfilling to me. I know I'm in alignment. I know I am because this is what my intuition is telling me to do. Also, how can I use what I'm good at to create a meaningful impact or serve others? So important. We are here to help one another. That is why we are here. So then we want to use these strengths to amplify our joy. Recognize, own these talents that align with what brings you joy. And you're most likely to feel this joy when you're using your natural talents in ways that you feel meaningful and purposeful. So, what are the skills I already possess that enhance my passion? How can I develop or refine my strengths to pursue what I love at a higher level? And then, what unique combination of talents and passions do I offer the world? So, with all of these things, and I know this is a lot of information, I actually was considering making this like an ebook and putting it for purchase on my website. Not expensive, but just so you can go through with the questions. Let me know if you're interested in that. I also thought about doing like a bullet point of the questions for my Patreon community or even for my website, just in case it's valuable for you to just have it in written form. You let me know. Okay, so then we want to take all of those things and figure out what small changes can I make today to spend more time on activities that bring me joy. It can be little simple things like 3 minutes of breath work using the Pause Breathwork app. It can be, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a list and I am going to clutter clear today because I know that's going to make me more space. I'm going to make a mantra out of it. Actually, you know what? I really like reading and exploring spiritual topics. I'm going to give myself 5 pages a day to read and commit to this. It can be anything. If you have a hobby, okay, I'm going to knit something. I'm going to knit 5 minutes today. Remember when I was doing belly dancing and I tweaked my knee? I still can belly dance. Y'all, I picked up some skills and I can still belly dance. So it could be belly dancing for me. It can be walking. I'm just giving you some ideas here. So how can I align my career or hobbies with what I love and what I am good at? And then what can I let go of that no longer serves my highest joy and fulfillment? This is huge because sometimes it's not about adding more. It's about removing things that aren't working anymore. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed because our life is full of stuff that's just totally out of alignment. So letting go of the things that aren't aligned anymore. And then once again, we want to get to what we love, what brings us joy, and what we're good at. This is our true calling. So here's the other thing. And I almost wonder if I should break this into 2 podcasts, but people ask, I don't know what I'm good at. I hear that so much. I have no idea what I'm good at. I don't know. Well, we still need to do a little bit of introspection, deep reflection. Understanding yourself is the foundation for everything. So once again, go back to your childhood. What were you drawn to as a child? What do you do effortlessly that others might struggle with? When have you felt the most fulfilled or in flow? And what compliments or positive feedback do I consistently receive from others? These are important. Then you want to look at patterns, because these patterns can reveal where you consistently excel or feel aligned. So you want to sit and think, are there any activities that I do regularly that others ask me to help with? Notice, do people often come to you for advice in a particular area? These are clues. And then you want to experiment with diverse activities or areas of interest because, again, we're exploring. Because sometimes, again, we discover our strengths by trying new things. So you want to take up some tasks or hobbies. You can even volunteer. You can also take online quizzes. There's all kinds of like strength finders. There's all kinds of online assessments that you can take. I know a lot of them are free. You just have to go online and do a search, but pay attention to what feels energizing and what comes naturally and make a list of activities that you've wanted to try and then commit to maybe trying one a month or one a week, depending on what the activity is. And then what you want to do, once again, monitor how certain tasks or activities make you feel because your energy is a strong indicator of where your strengths lie. So when you're good at something, it'll make you feel energized rather than drained. So again, when you're completing the activities, do I feel excited or alive when I'm doing this? Was I more focused? Did time fly by while I was engaged? Would I do it again without being asked? And then you can ask for honest feedback again. Go into your friends. I'm doing a little summary, but there's also other questions in here. Ask your friends, what do you think I'm naturally good at? When have you seen me in my best element? What strengths do you think I haven't fully tapped into? And then you want to kind of review and say, okay, where are my areas of mastery? Uh, Review your career, your hobbies, your personal projects. See where you've put in the most hours and gained a high level of competence. What skills have you refined that others recognize as advanced? So these are all clues. Also, what do you know so well that you could teach others? I bet there's more than one thing. So then you want to match these strengths with what you're passionate about, right? How can I use my strengths in ways that serve my passions? What excites me? What drives me? What fills me with a sense of meaning? And where do my strengths align with the impact that I want to make in the world? Then again, you can take these strengths assessments if you want. I've done a few. It's been a long time since I've done them, so I don't have any specific websites to give you. There's just so many, and it depends on what are you trying to look for? Are you looking for career, avenues? Are you looking for just your strength in general or what your gifts are? I know I took one a couple of months ago and it said my greatest skill was being funny. I'm like, that's not a skill. Anyway, so I mean, I guess, but whatever. Okay, so there's all kinds of tools out here to support you, right? So then what you want to do is you want to look at 2 or 3 areas where you're strong. Think about how they complement each other. Like, for example, if you're creative and you're analytical, you might be really good at Excel. And again, some of these quizzes can help you with this. And then you want to embrace your own imperfection because as you evolve, your strengths are going to change. They might deepen. There's some skills that are perishable. If you don't use them, you're going to lose them. So have grace with yourself and then just practice your self-awareness. Your talents are evolving. You're a work in progress. Ask yourself, what can I do today to expand my skills even further? Growth happens through consistent exploration, trial, and reflection. The other thing that I want to say, especially for us, is let go of the shoulds. Become aware of your expectations that you've internalized from society, family, or peers. You might even want to write down the shoulds. Things like, oh, well, I should have done this by now, or I should have this type of job, or, I should be focused on this. I used to see a counselor that would say, don't should on yourself. I thought it was pretty clever. But here's the deal. Once you've identified these should, ask yourself whether these expectations align with your values and desires. Are they truly important to you? Or are they simply the result of external pressure? Because we want to get into letting go of the societal expectations. I know it's challenging. Be kind and patient with yourself, but we're trying to get you to go inside. What's your higher self driving you to do? And this is a work in progress, right? So you want to reframe your mindset. Instead of saying should statements, replace it with I choose to or I want to. And say, instead of saying like I should work late, say I choose to spend time getting this done. I choose to do this or I want to do this. It can really help. It really can. Because even the energy of it, if you notice when you're saying it to yourself, how it feels, one feels lighter than the other. And then you want to engage with people who encourage you to follow your passions and support your journey of self-discovery. This is one of the reasons why I created Patreon, our High Vibe Lightworker Tribe. And I know it's a paid subscription. I get it, but it's very, very low cost. And the idea of Patreon is to provide a healing container because there's a little bit of an investment to get in there. It's not going to be some troll on the internet that's going to pay to get in there. That's one thing. Two, there's new content every month and we are all here to support each other. That's my vision. So we can pour more energy into it. It's less than a cup of coffee, honestly. Even if you did the highest tier, which is only $10, that tier, two cups of coffee a month, a sandwich. What is that? One meal. It's very, very low cost. So that was my intent in creating it. And so after you release your shoulds, you want to then cultivate your strengths, identify your passions, put energy toward it, seek your opportunities for alignment, look for ways to integrate your strengths and your passions, and then celebrate your unique gifts. There's no thumbprint or fingerprint like yours. You came here with unique gifts. So we want you to embrace your true self, right? You want to live a joy that's meaningful to you and meaningful to others. And that's the whole point of it. And so our direction matters. I get it. You can do vision boards if you want. Vision boards are a great way to start putting your best foot forward and start visualizing and giving yourself reminders. What I do with vision boards, I don't like the cutting things out and pasting it because I personally don't like mess. I actually just do it digitally. I do it like on a Word document or on a PowerPoint slide. And then I take that document, save it as an image, and then I send it to Walgreens, or you can do whatever photo place you want. And then I make various sizes of it to put it in places of my home. But the point of the vision board, it's whatever feels good to you. I heard a creator say that she makes mood boards through Pinterest. So she just goes on Pinterest and creates things that make her feel like she's in a good mood. And that's what she uses for her creativity and for her inspiration. I think that's really, really good. So here's the other thing. I feel stuck. I don't know what to do. I hear that so much. Energy healing is tremendous for this. Energy healing is helpful. Obviously, readings can help you look at the energy around you and give you some insight about what's going on, what you can do next. But here are practical things that I do when I feel stuck. Set small goals. Break your larger goals down into manageable steps, small ones. This makes the process feel so much less overwhelming. And as you're doing it, it helps you build confidence. And then you want to take action. This is the best way to get unstuck. Take action. If you're not sure if it's the right action, just do something. The action creates momentum, and the momentum leads to clarity. So just do something. Experimenting with new activities like we talked about before, and then reflect and reassess. Take the time to reflect on your progress, reassess your goals. Are you moving in a direction that feels aligned with your values and desires? And if not, it's okay to change your mind. We put too much pressure on ourselves, and then it becomes Paralysis by analysis. I'm not going to do anything because I don't know what to do. So I just do nothing and the time is passing. So do something. And then, of course, I'm always going to say meditation is so powerful, physical exercise, energy healing practices, spiritual reflection, just sitting and asking yourself, what is my soul calling me to do? How can I be of service to others in a way that feels fulfilling? Nature is amazing. And I think that's all I want to put in this podcast because this is probably the longest podcast I've ever done. But I feel like it's such a calling right now. It's such a big thing that's up. And guys, remember, and gals, faith and trust are essential components of this journey. Faith is believing in something bigger than yourself. It can be your higher power, God, universe, your own inner wisdom. But trust is having the confidence in the journey that you're on, even when the path isn't clear. That's the whole purpose of faith. And faith and trust allow you to navigate these uncertainties. I'm walking this just alongside you. I have these things come up for me too. And these are the things that work. These are the things that help me to keep moving forward, to keep getting another layer revealed to me. And the other thing that I want to say is sometimes just cleaning up your space can do something so tremendous. Or moving your furniture around, changing things up, like dusting. When's the last time you dusted? Clear out a drawer. Take some clothes out that you're not wearing anymore. Place them in a box to be donated. Little things like this can really help to free things out. Or free things up. And letting go of fear and doubt. Free yourself to follow your intuition, your inner guidance more confidently. Trust the universe always has your back. You're never alone on this journey. I know it can feel like it, but you're not. You're always being guided toward your highest potential. So that is a lot. And I think I'm going to stop with it there because I could say more, but I think this is enough for today. Let's go into a healing. You can uncross your arms and legs, focus on your breathing, and I will turn the healing on. Okay, and so it is. Friends, if you're not over on my newsletter, you can do so by going to my website. That is where I send out my announcements for the new offerings. I send out updates there. I don't send weekly emails. I don't send anything unless I have something to say because that personally irritates me. So I don't want to do that to you. And if you're interested in joining our High Vibe Lightworker tribe, the link is in the show notes. There's also breathwork links down there. And as always, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. We can do this. Keep moving forward. You are loved. You are supported. You are here for a very important purpose. And your path is illuminated. Take care. Bye-bye.